2, 1, go.
Hello, everybody. Change of plans in the schedule. I'm going to be running now. I'm Dangerous. You might have seen me at the previous WASD events. I did the last two of them. And today I'm here to do another run with for you of Rage 1. So there's a lot of interesting stuff in this run, and there's also going to be story time involved with it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the run going. I will give you a countdown. There's a bit of a longer-ish cutscene that has to play out in this opening section. Then time is going to start once we step out of the arc and gain control of Nicholas Rain, our protagonist, that we'll be controlling throughout the whole run. There's going to be a couple of sections with cutscenes that are going to be good opportunities for donations and for story time involved in this, because the journey to WASD was long and fraught with stuff in it. So it's going to be starting at 3, 2, 1, and start. We start by looking up. And then we look down. It's not the most exciting entrance to the game, but this is how the run starts. Now we're going to load checkpoint here. Now, if you do this, if you load checkpoint without the DLC installed, you'll start back at the beginning of that cutscene. But if you have the DLC installed, you skip the cutscene, you end up outside. Why does that work that way? I don't know. I can't tell you, and I've never been able to get a straight answer on why it does, but that's what happens. So here we are. So we have to sit through this cutscene, and when we jump in the car with Dan Hagar here, I can kind of explain how the categories are kind of laid out in this run. John Goodman, by the way. This guy's voiced by John Goodman. You also note that this is an id Software game, so of course we have the little Doom guy bobblehead here. That we have to sit through this cutscene because we are running we're running the 32-bit executable of this game. So this game has two executables when it came out. There's a 32-bit and a 64-bit. The 32-bit is kind of your standard executable for the game. The 64-bit was another version with a slightly modified engine that was made specifically for modding. It actually was released specifically so that you could like mod the game, and because of that, one of our resident runners, Tachyon, created an injector that fixes a little bit of code in the game's kind of buggy coding stuff. Oh, hold on, we have bandits. Okay, hold on. So if you don't know bandits are kind of they're scary. They're kind of mean. They're really really nasty. Ed, yeah, we're in the arc suit, so don't do anything weird. Be cool, all right? Be cool.
Wearing that arc suit, it's a dead giveaway.
Okay, I don't think they suspected anything. I think we're okay. I don't think they saw. I think we're okay. So anyways, getting back to the subcategory split. So 80% and actually 100%, both are split across two subcategories. Vanilla, which is what we're running today, and what's called Jump Fix. And Jump Fix runs an injector, a third-party injector, that kind of fixes a little bit of broken code in the game, in the game's original programming. Basically, the issue is that if you get enough speed and enough height, and you hit the ground, you will suffer from overbounce, and that's where your character model kind of clips into the ground underneath you, and it resets your momentum to 0, which sucks because we want to keep our momentum as long as we can. We're speedrunners, and so the injector kind of fixes that, and that makes running the game a whole lot better. So you might be then asking, well, why not run the 64-bit with the injector? Why run vanilla? Because the 64-bit executable has horrible load times. Literally, loads are about twice as long, and since none of this entire map is loaded in all at the same time, that's a lot of load screens. It would literally add about 15 to 20 minutes to the estimate. And of that 15 to 20 minutes, we'd be staring at the load screens for most of the time. Now, Dan's doing something really special here where he glitches out and will take his sweet time getting out of the car. This is just a 10-second time loss for no reason. I've never been able to figure out why, but that's what happens. But it's okay. We forgive him because he's voiced by John Goodman, and so we're willing to forgive it. Absolutely, I can do that. You said 3,000? You got it. All right, this should be good. Now we're going to do something here that is going to end up saving a lot of time overall on the run. We're going to run up to a character, interact with them, and then run away.
So here's what
This is going to skip all of the dialogue, or almost all of the dialogue. Do not do this IRL. Do not do this with people that you actually know. They get upset with you, and they say things like, "Hey, jerk, I was talking to you." So I do not recommend doing this with real people, but in the game, it's very useful. Now, one thing you'll notice is that we are going much faster than a person should ever be able to. And that is because this game was built on the id Tech engine. The id Tech engine is the same engine as Quake. So we are, in fact, going to be doing circle strafing and Quake-style bunny hopping throughout this entire run. Unfortunately, you'll notice how I sometimes will just lose my jump. That is partially because I'm just not very good at this, but also because of that overbounce issue that I explained earlier. And that gets us into the bandit hideout. Now, you can skip that opening cutscene with where you ride in the buggy with Dan on the 64-bit executable. It does not work on the 32-bit. But we had to watch it. Now, money is routed very tightly in this, and sometimes that'll happen if you get too close to the propeller fans. Go figure. You'll take damage from them. But we, like I was saying, money is routed very tightly, so we have to kind of... I'm going to be grabbing a lot of extra things as we go so I can sell them to vendors so I can make enough money to make sure that we can get through everything. Now, we need to know where we're headed. Are we going to the bathroom, to the kitchen, or to the garage?
Look at what Hagar said to us.
It was the kill room. We're going to the kill room. We're going to the kill room. He's taking us to the kill room. Now, you might be asking, what's the kill room? Great question. The kill room is like the living room,
You're awake.
except the opposite.
Good. I like my prey to know what's coming.
This is where we learn about the defibrillation mechanic in the game. And basically, the defibrillation mechanic is exactly as it sounds. If you die, you get to come back to life for one extra attempt. Okay, that was decent defib RNG. That RNG on the defib will sometimes just randomly proc at 1 second or several seconds. I don't think anybody's ever actually timed it, but yeah. And luckily, the defib will shock the enemies around you, so you get an instant kill on that guy. From here, we are now going to navigate our way through these hallways as much as we can. Gonna stop and grab the ammo there because that has grenades, which I'm gonna need in just a second. Now there is stamina in this game. And as long as you are airborne, you don't consume stamina. We need to stay airborne as much as we can. Okay, this guy will sometimes just... Please. If I throw one nade and have it land right, cool. That kills all 4 of these guys, and those guys have to die for the zip line to become active. If they do not die, the zip line, you can't ride that zip line down. The mission here was we had to kill everybody. Well, we actually only need to kill what's in the last room, but Dan said, go there and wipe them all out. We just killed the guys in the last room, and it's fine. He'll believe us when we say we killed everybody. Now we gotta head back to the Hagar settlement. Now this game is composed almost entirely of fetch missions, but the movement tech is really, really cool, and so the game kind of gets away with it a little bit. It's not the most fantastic casual playthrough, but it is quite the speed run. And it's funny about this is I actually ran Rage 2 at the last WASD event back in like summer of last year, and ran New Game Plus then. Well, this is the predecessor, and I actually only learned this run recently. I think actually back in January or February is when I first learned this run. And I didn't even actually learn it on my own volition. My chat made me. My community forced me to, funnily enough. Now, we're going to talk to this guy first. We're going to run away to skip his dialogue like we normally do. Sometimes the second dialogue won't skip right away. There's not really any clear reason why. And from him, we're going to buy the binocular. Now, that's not just for us to be able to, scope with the pistol. This is actually going to allow us to do a couple of skips later that we will otherwise not be able to do. Again, we're going to skip all Dan's dialogue.
Now, I hate to interrupt, but we've had a donation.
Oh, go for it.
£40 from Sleepless. Thank you very much. It's donation messages. We've had this hasn't happened during a run before. Now it's time for this hasn't happened during a stream before. Thank you very much for the donation.
Very nice. This is the single longest segment of the run, or longest split, I should say, where we're not going to hit a cutscene. Sorry, not a cutscene, a load screen for quite a while. And that's because the entire next mission is done in this out-of-doors area. And I will be pointing out famous VAs as we go throughout the run, like this guy, Nolan North.
You need something straight. Go on.
Penguin,
Just up there.
voicing this guy.
Hear the note, but when you're done, come back here. I may have something.
We're getting a couple of different missions here.
You must be one of
And every character has a basically a talking radius,
good luck.
which is how far away you run in order to get the next bit of their dialogue to cycle through. You can actually skip that last little bit right there, which will save about half a second if you do it. But you have a chance of soft locking the game, so I'm not going to do that. I don't even do that in PB attempts. My time's not nearly optimized enough to worry about that. Okay, we got a clean entrance into the hallway. So you can sometimes bounce against those pegs at the entrance over and over, which is very frustrating. Managed to clip the dialogue before he said the word.
I'm gasping for a... I think I heard something.
You also find that every villain group, every faction that we have to fight has some sort of funny accents as we go throughout. They're supposed to enter this building, run up a set of stairs, and then pull the lever, but we're going to actually just pull the lever from down here. You might be saying, whoa, how did he do that? Oh, hold on, I'm going to do it again. There we go. That is called an extendo grab. An extendo grab is something that is built into the core of the IdTech engine. The reason why it is built into the core of the engine is because this was originally found in Doom 2016, which is on a later iteration of this very same engine. And you can basically, if you use a zoom function on, typically it's a weapon zoom of some kind, you can get a couple of frames where you're very close to an object that you are actually far away from, and you can interact with those objects from very far away. We finally have crafting unlocked for us. And we're going to be crafting not a lot throughout the run, but crafting is going to become pretty essential because we're going to be crafting things that we need as we get a little bit later into the run. Now we have to head back to Dan because we need to finish this fetch mission. Because they're all fetch missions. Just about every mission, I think, is a fetch mission of some kind. Go here, do this thing, come back. Pretty unilaterally, that's the case. And I'm getting a lot of overbounce right now. Just see my velocity randomly kind of drop back down to nothing. Run in, progress dialogue, and then head back over here. Oops, come on.
Good work.
We can talk to DR here. Get his fetch mission.
Hey, buddy.
And he's going to basically tell us, go get some car parts to fix a buggy. And that buggy is going to be how we unlock the next area of the map. Because right now, we're kind of sequestered into a smaller area of the map until we get this buggy unlocked so that we can drive around. The game, by the way, is expecting us to be riding around on an ATV, but bunny hopping's a lot faster. I have to talk to him to actually get the fetch mission. DR sent us to that guy sends us back over this way into the exact place we just came from, but instead of going right, we're going to go left this next time.
He's hiding like a little girl.
This is one of the kind of the curses of this run is there's a lot of really tight hallways and oh nice, we got a little damage boost there. That guy can sometimes block that hallway. You can lose random time just because he's standing there unknowingly. Then we get into the bandit garage. This is going to be a bit of a frustrating area of the run because there's a lot of really tight hallways, and the whole thing is basically consists of a couple of different spirals. So you'll notice how I'm going to be turning left. I'm going to throw a grenade to kind of regulate these guys a little bit. They didn't really move around where I wanted them to, but that's okay. Grabbed one car part that I needed. And of course, this is supposed to be like a cover shooters section, but if you speedrun it, you're just schmoovin' instead. You'll notice that consisted of a lot of spirals. We wait for this door to open. And we go downstairs and we go through another spiral. This is a much narrower spiral. There's a lot of spirals. Now this is supposed to be a mini boss, so we're going to switch our ammo type. To start with, we're going to zoom in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mini boss dead. I'm going to wait for the door to open here. Get that guy out. Grab the ammo, grab the last car part. And that guy got right out of my way. That was very nice of him. Now, we're supposed to bunny hop back to the Hagar settlement. However, I find it's a lot faster to just carjack these guys and steal their ATV from them, because that's funny! And we ride this all the way back to DR. He fixes up the buggy, and we get it going, and it's ready for our use. Now, we are not going to be riding this thing for very much of the run. In fact, this is actually the only time we're going to actually be riding this particular vehicle. We're actually not even going to be using the buggy for very, very long once we get it. We're going to be upgrading to the Caprino, and that'll be our car for the rest of the run. Oh shoot. I got a little antsy. I jumped in a little early. I was supposed to wait in the doorway for a little longer, but I got a little too antsy and I ran forward. You wait in the doorway, you can cycle that next little bit of dialogue, then grab the radio a little faster, but I'm trying to go fast, man! Alright, so the buggy's fixed. We gotta go talk to Dan. He's gonna give us our next mission. Please open the door. And unfortunately, our time with Mr. Dan Hagar is quickly coming to a close. Ow! The doorway closed on me. So we will unfortunately not be hearing the musings of Mr. John Goodman for much longer, which is very sad. And sometimes that rocket can hit you and give you a little speed boost, which is nice. That was pretty optimal, actually. We got the car parked where we wanted it to. We got a little speed boost from that. All right. I'm purposely spinning the car 180 degrees before I get out of it, so that way I can make a quick exit.
Hey, partner, you're looking good out there. Care to test your skills on a course?
Kind of annoying to switch weapons because you won't switch weapons while you're sprinting, so you kind of have to walk slowly to switch sometimes, which is one of the most frustrating things about the run. Because sometimes I'll just be like randomly trying to switch, and it'll take like 6 button presses to actually get them to switch weapons, which is very frustrating. So with placing the dynamite on this wall, we have opened up this pathway all the way to Wellspring. Now, if you played Rage 2, you'll know Wellspring. It's actually the same city. And as a matter of fact, the villain, or one of the villains in Rage 2, his daddy is the mayor. So there's a lot of connective tissue between this game and its successor, which came out 8 years later and was made by a different developer, interestingly enough. As we approach Wellspring here, I'm going to talk to Solomon, walk away, talk to him again. Some of his dialogue is going to skip, but not all of it. While we're waiting, I'm going to steal the ammo from that gun by extendo grabbing it, and then we enter Wellspring. Now, this is going to create a series of basically like city run-through splits, and these are very confusing because you have to go back to Wellspring like multiple times, and so I still use my splits even now as a reminder to like where to go. Now, Mayor here, his radius basically requires that you slam yourself into the gate outside his office, which is a little annoying. we need to talk to the vendor here, who is going to get us out of the Ark outfit. There's a series of 3 outfits that you can buy, or if you have the DLC, you get the 4th one, which has the characteristics of all of the first 3. Before we go back and talk to the mayor, we're going to do a race. Nolan North, by the way. Man truly is a chameleon.
Care to look through the list of events?
Now, this race is 1 minute 30 seconds. Every time. No matter what you do. This race is basically an auto-scroller. You only lose time here if you bump into walls or whatnot, like I just did there. There's not really a whole lot you can do to speed this up, so Mr. Host, if you have anything to read, now's your chance. Sure. Luckily, the timer pauses when I pause the game. The live split timer, I mean. So, never an issue. Oh. The car seems to be stalling, which is weird because that's not a mechanic that's built into this game. Not sure why I couldn't get any speed going there. So this is going to be a little longer than 1.5 minutes. I was trying to grab that boost canister and I couldn't quite grab it for some reason. Yeah, I'm going to be about 5 seconds behind compared to normal. That's okay. Not a big deal. There were 3 canisters, and so I grabbed each one on a different lap. Oh man, I went too tight on the last lap and too wide on this one, and I missed the canister both times. Oh well. Sometimes it happens. We've looked for ways to speed this race up, and there's just no good way to do it. It's 1.5 minutes no matter what you do. Lost about 5 seconds on it. But that's okay. Now, this is one of the more interesting things that we do in this run. Fred Catascore, by the way. We're going to buy a bunch of armor restore here, and that's so that we can bank our money for later. We're going to use that money. We're going to get that money back when we sell the items that we just bought from him. Whoops. Oop. A little too far to the right there. There we go. His dialogue didn't proc for some reason.
Much better. Now, but we got another problem.
All right.
Go see Mick across the way.
So you gotta talk to Mick.
You talk to Mick. Go see.
Kill Lamar, by the way.
Attention, citizens of Wells.
Who you might know as Samurai Jack.
My responsibility to ensure commerce and trade flow freely in town.
Let me talk to... Whoop, open the door. Talk to the sheriff real quick. Come on. Sweet time talking to me. Then we head back to Hagar. However, we don't have to drive anymore. Now we have a secret weapon. Earlier, we picked up a radio. Well, that radio allows us to fast travel by having the car towed. And towing the car costs up to $150. Up to. But if you have less than that, it costs however much is left in your inventory. If you have $0 in your inventory, towing your car is free. And so that's why we bought those weapon restores or armor restores earlier, because we were banking our money so that we could save it later. If we didn't do that, we would lose that money, and then when we go to vendor later, we'd be a little short of what we need. Now we got the crossbow. That is unfortunately the last time that we are going to be seeing Mr. John Goodman. Oops. Enter the city once again. Oh, I almost fell off the car there. Talk to the mayor. He's going to give us another fetch mission. Literally a fetch mission of go get this rock from this crater.
I'm gonna need you to run up.
That's the whole thing.
You'll have a long drive to get there.
And we have to go talk to the mayor or to the sheriff again. he's going to give us... Oops. What's the opposite of a fetch mission? We have to go drop something off. Whatever the opposite of a fetch mission is, we have to go drop something off for him. I have to get one more mission.
Attention! The Dusty 8 sponsored event is now open. Always our local favorite. Are you looking for a better? Look no further than the Dusty 8.
And we are good. We got all the missions that we can handle at the moment. We could head out of the city. Now we got two. Ooh, we got two missions that we could do in any given order. But we're going to do one of them first for a very specific reason. So we have to go to, like, deep into enemy territory to pick up a rock because we need to do the mayor's mission first. Now, if we didn't do the mayor's mission first, we went to the other mission first, we'd end up losing, I think, an extra 150. Oh, that was close. Yeah, that guy can be very random and a source of RNG. If we flipped over, that might have been bad, but we're okay. If we didn't do this mission first, if we did the other mission first, we'd lose out on about $150 on one of our tows. That's bad. We don't want to tow the car any more than we absolutely have to if we are loaded up on cash. If we have no money in our inventory, then it doesn't really matter. I am getting really unlucky with cars today for some reason. There we go. Slight tap of the handbrake there gives you the perfect amount of turn, leaving that tunnel. We're just driving slower than normal, and I'm not totally sure why. I'm holding forward like my life depends on it. And we exit. Now, you're supposed to pull a lever here in order to open this thing, but you stand in the right spot. Stand in the right spot. Game, please be nice. You actually grab the rock through the container that's holding it. That's because collision on the IdTech engine is merely a myth. There is no such thing. And we fast travel back to Wellspring, but then we immediately exit back into the wasteland. It's just faster to do this than to drive back here and then drive over to MBTV. It's a lot faster to fast travel and then take the car back out and drive over to MBTV. The world record holder Zen actually gets out of the car and he bunny hops his way there. I've never been able to do that without either dying to these cars or just losing all my momentum on an overbounce or a bunch of dropped inputs. So I find it's just faster to take the car myself. And we go to MBTV. You remember Rage 2 at all? This wasn't Rage 2 because it was in Rage 1. We're going to talk to J.K. Styles, run back and forth to skip his dialogue, and we start MBTV. This part's drag. This part sucks. I think my PB, I lost 18 seconds here. Something like that. Yeah. The nice thing is we have all the ammo that we need, so no issues there. And it's going to be a little bit of waiting until the actual carnage starts, so. And I'm out of water. This is bad. Ah! There's a couple of cutscenes in this game, and this isn't even one of the longer ones either. Now, MBTV consists of 5 rounds, each consisting of several waves of enemies. And there isn't a way to speed this up, except just kill everything quickly. So we got to play through everything. Now, when you get to the DLC, you can actually skip the entire thing, which is really nice. But this first one, you can't do that. Not in the main game. These guys have pretty consistent spawns. Their movements aren't always consistent. And then this one is entirely RNG. I'm trying not to use all my ammo here if I can help it. And the reason for that is because we're going to sell a bunch of ammo later. So if I fire the gun more than I have to, it's like I fire the weapon, I'm like, oh, there's $3 right there. I don't want to lose that money. I have to kind of wait on these guys to crawl out of here before you can shoot them, because the hitbox, like, collision is really wonky in there. Like I said, ATEC engine. Collision's not a thing here. It's merely a suggestion. You're going to see why that is very apparently coming up soon. Now, this first phase of this fight, actually, this entire section is completely consistent. You're going to get one guy out of this left side. Right. And 3 left and 1 right. Two, 3. Almost like I knew that was going to happen. Where is this guy? I was waiting. Takes us to round 3. Now, round 3 has a bonus round. It's a slot machine. We can win some big money prizes here. So this is where we're going to make a lot of the money that we're going to end up using when we get to the first vendor. So our goal here is to line up as many of the red money things as we can. We're going to do our best to do that. And, oh, shoot, I got a skull. Oh, well, I guess we're not going to get any money here. We got 2 on this side. Sure, please. Got 1 here, and then these 2, and that's the round. Don't worry, we're going to get the money somewhere else later. It's fine. In fact, we're going to get it right here. We stand on the center thing to get everything to start. I'm going to switch out to this gun. Now, you'll notice these 3 pinnacles here. I wonder what those are for. Have to wait for the little pop-up to show. It's the dope fish! Another ATEC property! You are annoying me, sir. Please don't. So each one of those dope fish offers a lot of money, and that's where we're going to get all the money that we're going to use. There you are. I'm wondering where this guy was. These guys, the spawns are actually not RNG at all, but I didn't actually know which phase I was on there for a second. That's the 4th round. Now we have the 5th round. The scariest round with a big enemy. Oh. Look how big and scary he is. It'd be a shame if he died just by, I don't know, shooting him over and over. He's not that hard when you know how to take care of him. Alright, we're try and get a couple bunny hops off of here. It's kind of hard to do that. This floor is kind of notorious for being really sticky and hard to get a jump off of. I gave a 1655, not bad. Now we leave. We can't go to the vendor yet. We actually need to do a couple other things before we'll get the schematic that we need in order to make going to the vendor worthwhile. So we're going to fast travel back to Wellspring. Now, why did we do MBTV? Well, we needed a sponsorship from JK, that big guy in the chair, in order to participate in another race. We're going to go turn in the mission that the mayor gave us. Luckily, his talking radius has shrunk a little bit, so we only have to go to the door this time. Instead of running all the way outside and smacking our faces against the gate.
Take that sample to him. I'll let Kvassier know.
And I think I actually went the wrong way here. I think you're supposed to go the other way. But, oh well. It's only like 3 seconds lost if that's the case. To talk to Jackie to get his dialogue to proc, and then we can talk to Slim.
It's been a long time.
And this gives us access to the sponsored race. So that's why we did the race that we did earlier. If we didn't do that, we wouldn't get access to the sponsored race. Now, this is a race against cars. It's really hard. Sorry, I mean, we have a weapon that can literally destroy them all instantly. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, I misspoke. I always do that. You'll also notice this car's much better than the last one. Now, I went left specifically at that spot because if you go right, you're going to lose out on a boost canister, one of these. But if you go left first, the NPCs, for whatever reason, leave that one on the right alone. So we get an extra boost canister out of it, which is really nice. We do have to grab all of them now, though, because if we don't, the NPCs are going to grab them instead, and then we're going to miss out on them. Okay, I got a little oversteer there. I'm not sure why. The nice thing is, this car that we're driving is a Caprino. It's not the same Caprino that we're going to get from winning the race, but it's much better than the car we were driving before. That thing was terrible. And this is another minute and 30 race that there's just not really any good way to speed it up. We just have to draw the lines as straight as we can and hope that we get just get more speed out of things. The game's giving me the prompt for using the weapon that I used at the beginning of the race, but I'm literally so far ahead of the other cars right now that it doesn't matter. I mean, I could launch it anyway. It doesn't change anything. That race, weirdly enough, is also a minute and 30, despite having a car that is much faster than the other one. I don't think anybody's ever been able to figure out a reason for that, but that is the case. Here we go talk to the sheriff. We had to get that car in order to get this next mission that he's going to give us. Sometimes you can get his dialogue to, you can get his animation to cancel out, and you can talk to him right away each time, but I got unlucky there, and I didn't get any overlap on his animation. It's not a big time loss or save. It's only a couple of seconds at most. Now we have to head to the Northern Tower to drop off the thing that Sheriff gave us. But we also have to go drop off the rock that we picked up through the machine earlier we did for the mayor. Luckily, both of these drop-off points are very close to each other, so we do them at the same time, because that's much faster than doing them separately. Now, we're actually going to overlap these even more than I just explained, and you'll see what I mean. You'll notice we went up that ramp there initially. We're going to go to the left this time instead. We're actually going to be coming over here quite a lot throughout the run. Multiple missions are going to be taking place over on this side of the map. I'm going to drive up, park right in front of this rock, start the dialogue with Kvasir, and then drive up this. Ooh, that was a clean ramp. Nice. That ramp memed me hard in my PB, so talk to that guy to drop off the sheriff's thing, and then we head back to Kvasir. So the reason why we did that initially is because we'd have to wait for his dialogue to finish for this bridge to be lifted up. By the way, I just drove the car over the... Oh, it didn't drive over the edge. I was hoping I could drive the car over the edge and completely just destroy it. Because you can, because we're going to get a tow back, so it doesn't matter. This begins one of 3 Kvasir cutscenes, and there is no way to run far or fast enough away from Kvasir in order to skip his dialogue. By the way, who likes Out of Bounds? Anybody like Out of Bounds? We're out of bounds! Oh no, we're soft locked. Whatever will we do? How do we get back in bounds? I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Interesting.
But yeah, this is a almost 3-minute cutscene, so if there's anything to read out, now's your chance.
Tests on this might take some time, but you also look interesting. There's something different about you. Best I take a closer look at you too.
We're back in bounds.
Interesting. Very
And believe it or not, there is actually a way to optimize this cutscene. How much do you optimize it by? Not very much at all. It's very hard to get a really optimal
Got a little secret.
time save out of this cutscene, but there is a slight way to optimize it. We will be doing that. I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit.
Since
It's also going to be a nice demonstration of the
you don't know how lucky you are.
fantastic collision in this game.
If the authority catches you and you don't have anything they need, you'll be dead. You are part of
By the way,
whole
the
world.
voice actor for this guy, Neil Ross, he was also the voice of Jackie, the guy that gave us he's the one standing on the soapbox outside the Derby. Neil Ross, you might know him if you played Doom 3.
Not that I profess to,
Marine, get to the Alpha Complex on the double.
but they exist in small bands fighting back.
Same VA.
And maybe, just
Weird,
maybe,
because it doesn't sound like him at all.
you survived this long. You must have some survival skills worth using.
So he's going to give us
You aren't going to
another
last
mission
long in a firefight against the
that is going to
authority with a
upgrade the
standard
defibrillator.
defibrillator.
Normally, you only get 1 defib out of the defibrillator, but with this upgrade, we're going to get
Keep you
2.
alive longer, but that will require a little.
And that's actually going to be pretty necessary later on in the game, because there's a couple parts where dying either is advantageous or likely to happen through no fault of our own. Ooh. Now I'm going to wiggle my way into the switch. This is called a paperclip. My main speedrun is Doom 2016, and in that game we call them paperclips. The very few rage runners that actually exist, they call it wiggling. They just call it wiggled. So we clip into there. So spam enter, scroll, and look down, and that is the optimal way to exit that cutscene. You can actually get an optimal exit to the cutscene, believe it or not. We're gonna fast travel back to Mick to go back to Wellspring. We're gonna talk to the sheriff again to turn in that mission from the Northern Tower, and then we're going to talk to Coffer, the vendor. We bought the suit from him originally, but his inventory doesn't open up for us until a little bit later. Oops.
Great word.
I'm trying to cycle his animations, but I'm getting kind of unlucky here. Yeah, he sometimes does this. And you'll notice he does these like one animation, or these one frame animations as a result of that. But like I said, money is routed very, very tightly in this run, so I am going to make a safety save right here, just in case I screw this up. And I'm actually going to use the controller, believe it or not, to do some of this. Okay, we're going to buy Pop Rockets. I'm going to spam enter and mouse click to buy everything I need really quickly. You'll notice how fast that number climbs. That is very much on purpose. And now, oops, oh shoot. I forgot to buy buckshot. I always do that. I spend the rest of my money on buckshot in order to craft pop rockets. Now, we have to build RC cars and pop rockets. Not everything in this run is fantastic. It's mostly good, but then there's crafting, which sucks. Every run, I get to listen to this noise, and I'm slowly going insane. Why build all doesn't just do 1 and you have 25, I don't know, but that's the way it is. There's no way around this. Also, I just noticed that that guy Blaine is in the chat, our 100% world record holder. What's up, Blaine? And we're done with crafting. Now we can head to the Shrouded Bunker. And we're going to play the entire Shrouded Bunker section. I'm just kidding. We're going to skip the whole thing. You'll see how. We're going to drive over to the Shrouded Bunker. We're going to immediately get out of bounds, and then we're going to skip the entire thing. This is probably my second favorite skip in the whole game. And the best part of it is it's actually pretty easy to do. You can screw it up. I've lost runs to this skip before, but not very often. It's actually pretty easy to do. I say that, and I'm probably going to screw it up. Just having said that out loud. Gonna grab another car here. Gonna grab another car here. I'm gonna let that car blow up on me so that it doesn't blow up this one. Now I can still take damage. Uh-oh. I'm still taking damage while I'm controlling this car, so I gotta drive in here. Yeah, you'll see how much damage I took during that. Get this elevator started, run back, pick that up for later. And this is why we get pop rockets. Powerful. Now I'm going to... Please don't do that, sir. I'm going to line up very precisely on this little white dot. I'm going to save, because this can go wrong sometimes. We're going to do an extendo grab. Remember this from earlier. That's why I did a safety save. I think I moved slightly. Yep. Not sure how that happened. There we go. Safety save. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Flip into the elevator here. Please. Wiggle through to get out of bounds. We're going to save real quick. I'm going to open the menu. Switch the difficulty to its highest setting. Actually, hold on. I need to load that because I dropped a car by mistake without realizing what I was doing. I'm actually going to save this again just in case. For a little more. I'm going to cook this nade and then walk over the edge. Now, by blowing myself up like that, I have passed through a fall damage kill plane. And that means that I'm underneath the level now. This is why this is my second favorite skip in the whole run. I'm listening for an audio cue there. I'm listening for that little like weird bell sound. That's how I know I'm in the right spot. I'm going to switch the difficulty back to easy. I'm going to line up right about here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Save. Now, if I did this right, I'm going to use these RC cars to blow up and get myself back in bounds, just like so. I'm going to run up to this set of stairs. Safety save again, because you can die on this jump. Just like that. If you land outside the circle, you die. If you land inside the circle, you take no damage. Why that is, I'm not exactly sure. Just like that. We land in this spot here. Line up. Safety save again, just in case. Hit the lever. Oh, I am in the wrong spot. Little button, and now this is happening. Don't question it. Just accept it. We're flying. I'm going to take this time to reload while I fly to get up here. I'm going to wait until I stop moving completely. Safety save again, because you can mess this jump up. This is actually probably the hardest part of the whole thing. Have to do the tiniest little, do like the tiniest little forward movement while you jump. And if you go too fast, you don't get over. But we just got over. We skipped the entire shrouded bunker doing that. Now we exit. That was actually a pretty smooth shrouded bunker. A couple little hiccups, but definitely has been worse in PBs before. That's how you skip the whole shrouded bunker. And now we go to Dead City 1. Dead City 1. We don't like Dead City 1. Dead City 1 has eaten many runs. In fact, my last PB before this one, I lost 40 seconds on Dead City. Dead City 1. You keep saying Dead City 1. Are you implying a Dead City 2? I'm gonna blow this guy up. Grab the ammo here. Reload. I'm gonna pull out the grenades. We got a little mini boss fight here. Now, if I set this up correctly, This is going to go pretty quickly. 2 grenades. 1 magazine of pop rockets. Perfect. That was an optimal fight. Now he has to die in order for this gate to fall. We rush through the gates. Get up here. Ugh, if I can not hit everything on the way down. I'm going to run in to hit the trigger line. Do a little looting because I'm a goblin. I'm going to need a lot of this ammo and stuff later. And we are locked in this room. This is a scary room. We're locked in with a bunch of mutants at the windows. Oh no, except we know exactly where they all spawn, so this is going to go really fast as well. We got this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. I'm going to load here because this guy takes a second usually. Here, 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 and 4. Every time. So far, we haven't skipped anything in Dead City. This is going to be the first skip. This is the thing that will sometimes chew a lot of time out of runs. I'm going to safety save here in case this goes badly. Okay, that was fine. That was the slow version of it, but we got a first try, and that's fine. I lost 20 seconds there on a run once. Unfortunately, there's no way that we know of to skip this gate, so we have to actually interact with this gate, and we get attacked by these guys while we're waiting. We have to wait for this trigger to become active again, and then the gate will actually open. I'm just going to melee these guys because we're waiting for this anyway, so there's no real reason to use ammo on them while we're waiting. And that's the first half of Dead City 1. Now we are on Dead City Central. Now there's actually a long section here, but if you do that paperclip tech that I showed you earlier, jump onto this wall, please, Nicholas. Jump onto this wall. Thank you. You do a little wiggling. And skip that whole thing. That is a minute, I think, time save. Now these 3 mutants specifically have to die in order to open this door. No other mutants will open that door. Just those 3. Trigger enemies. We're going to navigate through the rest of... Oh, I'm stuck. Do the rest of this. This part's very frustrating because it's very dark. It's hard to see where you're going sometimes. And now we get to our first actual boss fight, I think. Now, there's an old saying. id Software doesn't know how to design a boss fight. Hard to say. I'm going to prove that saying correct right here. Something, something, something. The longer the icon of sin is on Earth, the stronger he will become. I said it! Now, you can only hit him with the rocket launcher. Any other weapon will not damage him. Luckily, they do give you infinite rockets for this. But this is the whole fight. You shoot his stomach, he rushes in, he hits the platform a few times, his head becomes vulnerable, you shoot his head, you do it again 2 more times. My favorite part is that they, of course, he just tells you where he's going to hit next. I did an Ultra Nightmare playthrough of this game a little while back. Hardest difficulty. Still didn't die to this boss. Doing that. The hardest difficulty, where he moves the fastest. Still didn't die. That's the whole fight. Gonna rush in, grab the ammo just for safety's sake. Gonna rush down all these stairs. If you're fast enough, one of these toxic mutants will spawn in here if you don't go fast enough. But if you're fast enough, he's not there. That's nice. Not because he does a lot of damage, but because he blocks you a lot of the time. Unfortunately, there's no way to skip these guys, so you just kind of have to deal with them as they come along. That guy gave me a damage boost. That was nice of him. And we did that whole thing just to get that. Just to get that one stupid item right there. We run around, loot a little bit more. Some of these are parts for stuff that we're going to need to upgrade later. And if you push yourself up against this wall, you can get optimal exit to this room, which is also really funny, coupled with the fact that you can see through the wall. I just think this is really funny. Now, if this guy's nice, and he is, he'll sometimes block you, he'll sometimes get out of the way. He was nice, he got out of the way. And, whoop, that is Dead City 1. Overall, a really good Dead City. That is not always the case. Oops. Of course, the exit to Dead City is apparently much harder than Dead City itself. And we can't fast travel back to Mick right away. We do have to come over here to do another Kvassir cutscene. Yay. But thus ends, with the end of Dead City, thus ends what I consider to be the first leg of the run. You can kind of make a case that vendoring is the end of the first leg, and that Shrouded Bunker is the beginning of the second leg, but either way is fine. Now, this Kvassir cutscene is shorter, luckily, and this is where we get the defibrillator upgrade, which is very ironic, because the place that you need the defibrillator upgrade more than anywhere else is Dead City 1, where we had to go to get the upgrade. It's like how you have to beat the hardest boss to get the strongest weapon, but then once you get the strongest weapon, there's nobody to use it on because you killed the final boss already. It's that! But luckily, this upgrade is very useful for us as speedrunners. We're going to take advantage of it later on. And the nice thing is this cutscene is at least a little bit shorter. When we get to the third Kvassir cutscene, that one's going to be another long one like the last one was. I wish there were a way to skip this, but there is sadly not.
What the bandits are trying to do, successfully it would seem.
This is a nice time also during actual runs to go to the bathroom, take a sip of water, talk to chat. This is a great time to catch up on chat.
You best bring it to Clayton. He needs to know what he may be facing.
And that's how you exit that cutscene optimally. Short one, but still annoying. Now, we get to fast travel back to Mick. We got to go turn in the couple of quests that we still have active. And then we do my favorite part of the run, Kappa, I hate it, the well. We have to go into the well. You will see why the well is the worst part. Now, we only have to talk to these guys once, and we actually cycle the rest of the dialogue just on one interaction with them.
Now that is another.
You'll notice that we have this door conspicuously here the whole time. Game, please. I'm going to talk to Carlson, step lightly away to skip his dialogue. Now we enter the well. The well sucks. Trust me on this. You'll see why. So the well is going to start with a very annoying RC car skip, very similar to the one that we did out of bounds with the Shrouded Bunker. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a quick save. These work first try. Sometimes I have to drop a fifth one, and I just have no other option. I'm going to try to do this with 4. Nice. Sometimes there's just no choice, and you have to drop a fifth one. But in this case, we got lucky. And we recovered our health. Yeah, this game came out in 2011. This is in kind of during the era of auto-heal. A lot of games that came out in this time just had auto-healing. You can heal yourself. And this is the part why this skip is called I Think He's Close. And of course I get the skip first try in a marathon setting. If you don't get that skip first try, you get to listen to that guy say, I think he's close, over and over and over and over and over and over. But it's a marathon, so of course I get a first try. Okay. Where? Okay, that guy's down.
Get that damn gate open.
I have to kill those two guys to get the gate to raise. I'm supposed to run around to get the canister, but we can jump right over and... Please back up, sir. Oh, this guy's... Oh, he didn't get caught. Sometimes he'll actually, like, turn into red paste if he's standing too close to the edge. You can actually jump off the stairs there to hit this trigger a little early, but I wasn't as lucky. It's kind of a tricky jump to do. I have to go back and talk to Carlson again.
Incredible. Now about that toxin.
And then he is going to send us,
I need you to
guess where? Back to Dr. Kvasir for another cutscene. Not everything about the run is great, unfortunately. But this is, luckily, the very last Kvasir cutscene that we have to suffer through. And this one is, I think, like 2.5 minutes. During this section, they also introduce another little thing here where you can collect these Feltrite meteors. Feltrite's basically the currency of this world. Well, it's not the currency of the world. It's a very valuable commodity, and so you want to collect Feltrite. It's basically moon rocks. It plays a big role in Rage 2 as well. And you get a bonus if you collect all 7, but that requires going out of your way. We don't want to do that. We want to go the fastest way, so we're just going to pick up those first 5. We still get to keep those 5, and we get to sell those later, and they are very valuable. They're going to give us a lot of money for buying stuff that we need when we get to the last leg of the run. Okay, I can't seem to get through here. There we go. So this Kvasir cutscene is 2 minutes and 37 seconds, according to my live split.
Hello again, my friend. Yes, my friend. Time
Now,
to
this is the
learn
disappointing part about
what
this.
you have here.
We got that toxin from the well,
Look at this. Interesting.
and it gives Kvasir the last little piece that he needs to create mind-controlled darts. Remember that crossbow we picked up earlier? We can fire mind-controlled darts. We can literally shoot it into an enemy and then control where that enemy goes and blow it up. So we can send one guy into a group of other guys and blow them up. And it's totally useless. Despite how cool that sounds, it's totally useless, so we're going to sell all of them because we don't need them. They're actually just that useless. It's a bummer, I know. What are you going to do? But we have to go through this cutscene in order to get access to Elizabeth. She's going to be our fetch mission giver for a little while. Her and another character that's we're going to be talking to once we free him from prison. If you've been sitting here wondering what the heck is the story to this game, basically the story is a meteorite crashed into Earth, killed most life. A lot of people survived by being sent underground in what are called arcs. That's what we emerged from at the beginning of the game. You emerge from an arc. There's an oppressive authority government that you have to overthrow. And then don't question too much else.
But still within its limitations, quite powerful.
Yeah.
But now, this toxin you have so thoughtfully brought for my
Rage 2 Rage does not have a good story. Rage 2 has an even worse story. This is a cover shooter with a story there in the background to kind of keep you going forward and to explain why you're doing all these different fetch missions. It's literally just a series of dungeons that they send you to in order to get the medallion, so to speak. And of course, I got a hair in my mouth as I'm saying this. So we've got a few more seconds of this cutscene. So if there's anything to read out, now's your chance.
an important day for the resistance, my friend. So
We're going to do the
here it is,
optimal thing again.
a sample bunch of
Get outta here.
control darts, enough for the resistance to begin using and testing. And they should be able to easily replicate the formula to produce more. And now,
Optimal exit.
you come in.
Very nice.
Find
Matter of fact, that was a gold split on a cutscene. That's how optimal that was. We're going to fast travel back to Mick. And now we get a series of missions from not the mayor or the sheriff, but from Elizabeth, who is part of the resistance. Claudia Black.
Something from Kavaskia. It's not safe to talk.
Well, let me give you some advice.
I told you there were famous people in this game. We're going to close and open the door to make things optimal. Oh, Tara's strong, by the way.
The bar isn't safe. You probably have a lot of poison.
So we're going to go to prison now. Yay!
So, that's what I need. Good. You'll need this.
The ultimate fetch mission, we're going to break somebody out of prison. Yes. But the guy that we are breaking out of prison has another extremely famous voice actor. You'll probably recognize his voice just when he starts talking, without me even having to tell you. I'll still tell you who he is in case you don't know. But you'll know the voice right away. And we are headed back over to near where we go to talk to Kavaskia, but we're going to go a slightly different direction. We're actually going to head back up to the northern tower, but then go left instead of right once we climb up the rock. So if we're lucky, the rock is going to cooperate and it's going to put us in the right direction. It has been a little trolly in a few runs recently, so we're going to hope. All right, play nice, rock. Okay, not bad. I'll take that. This guy can sometimes crash directly into you and like straight up front end you and eat all your speed, but he was nice enough to get out of the way. Sometimes in the game of chicken, he does not veer off. So now we are breaking into prison. Not something you normally do. Normally it's the other way around, but in this case, we need to break into prison. Funnily enough, in my PB, I actually didn't hit that button right away, and so I lost a couple seconds just because I didn't hit that button immediately. This is the Authority Prison, so that tyrannical governmental organization I talked about before. This is the prison where they keep, people that are trying to overthrow them, so to speak. Again, don't question the lore too much. I have to break these power cells in order to lower these gates. Supposed to go through the door over there to the left, but if you aim this correctly... Nice. Oh, I gotta reload. There we go. This gate always takes a second to lower. The strafe hopping, you'll notice, is actually very useful when you are being shot at from every direction. That guy's, I don't think, going to bother us. You can skip over the gate here by doing this. I'm going to take a couple seconds to actually kill all these guys, because if I don't, they're going to cause me problems later on. Grab this loot real quick. 1, 2, 3. Save the game, just in case. Just in case paid off in this case. There we go. That's what we're after. That skips having to run around this upward area. So you can grab a card through this thing, hilariously enough. I'm going to save. And this is the guy with the extremely famous voice actor. I'll give you all a second to guess who it is. But if you bunny hop through here, you can get in this area fast enough that you can get access to this a little bit sooner than you're supposed to. Oh, this guy ran too fast. There we go. There he is. We're looking for you. All right, now, Marshall, unfortunately, you have to babysit this guy. If you don't, he will bug out, and he has bugged out, and he has done some wacky things. I'm going to have to highlight the one run where his AI just completely broke. Marshall can be a real pain in the butt sometimes. Come on. I don't trust you, man. You've killed enough of my speedruns. When I say babysit, I'm not kidding. Okay, that guy's dead. Where's this guy? He goes over. Okay, I'm gonna loot a little bit as we go. This guy's gonna spawn right here. jump over the laser. That was interesting. There we go. This guy cost me like 40 seconds of my PB because he just hung out up there. Very annoying. Got a guy here and a guy here. Actually, it might be this guy that did that. Yep. There we go. Lower the gate for Marshall to make it through. He should play nice now. Oh, Marshall played completely nice. Probably because we babysat him so hard. So now we just have to wait for him to blow up this door. And hopefully no big scary authority ships show up in the... Oh no, look at that. There's a big scary authority ship. I guess we're going to have to use this minigun on it. Now, luckily, the spawn patterns for these enemies are extremely consistent. Right side, left side, middle, right side, left side, middle. I'm going to get up close to him to start his dialogue sequence, and we're going to do a little skip that is going to save a chunk of time. I'll line up right here. Line up right on this. 1, 2, 3. Save just in case.
I can bypass the
nice. Save just in case. A lot of just in case in this game.
Just a moment. Let me try.
I got over it and I backed up. Right back in bounds. So now I have to do the embarrassing thing of redoing this. Oh boy, this is a little embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. I got it first try, now I can't get it again. Oh, rage, please. You gotta play nice right now. There we go. This is where we were trying to land before. We had to wait for that to like cycle. We had to actually wait for the little mission pop-up to show up there, or we would like overwrite the whole mission and have to go back in and redo it all. So we specifically waited there for that. By the way, that would have been a gold split on the prison if not for me screwing that last skip up a bunch of times. Then we got 2 more missions that we have to do. 2 more fetch missions before we head to Subway Town. Hi! I'm glad you turned around. Sometimes it'll randomly do that. It'll just wait to turn around. Very frustrating. There we go. Dialogue skipping here can be a little nauseating. Certainly not for them with them spinning around so much. Alright. So with this mission, we are going to go back to where it all started. Literally to the beginning of the game. Out to the wasteland. Now, we don't have to luckily drive the whole way. We can actually stop in fast travel to the Hagar settlement where we did a bunch of our first missions very, very early on. Just have to wait till we actually get control again. Jump into the car. Very clean exit. Oh, there we go. Almost hit the wall. It might be faster to bunny hop here, but I doubt it. I'm pretty sure it's faster to just take the car. Now hop over here, save, just in case, because I have died here before. There we go. That way we don't have to drive all the way around and do all that. Whoops, please. Hit the little panel there, and as soon as you touch that panel, you can fast travel back. You don't have to wait. So that was the second to last mission before we get to Subway Town. Now we're headed to Subway Town. Sorry, we're going to do the last mission before we get to Subway Town. Excuse me.
Excellent work.
To do a bunch more dialogue skipping with these guys. This is the longest section of dialogue skipping with these two.
coming.
For whatever reason, this conversation is segmented into a lot of pieces.
We've still got some.
See, Elizabeth agrees.
Yes.
3 more?
We need that dick.
And if for nothing else.
2.
So, my friend,
Whoop! The dialogue didn't proc. And now this should be the one where he gives us the mission.
we
Grab the ammo in here for later.
and you'll have done it. Remember, the authority knows you're around.
And guess where we're going before we head to Subway Town? I don't know if you can hear that, but that's a siren outside my house. If you said Dead City, you're right. Dead City 2. Dead City, of course, describes how I feel inside every time I have to play through this section. I'm kidding. Dead City 2 is actually not that bad. Dead City 1's the run killer. Dead City 2, usually not so much. Dead City is a little bit more consistent. There are a couple of weird meme spots, but nothing that's like a real run killer unless you just get really unlucky in a particular spot. And luckily, we don't really need to worry about leaving here. We're going to fast travel, so we could just kind of park the car wherever. Okay, exited me on the wrong side. That was weird. There's a caveat to this Dead City. This Dead City is going to be done backward. So where we exited before, we are now entering. Let's stop and grab all of this stuff for the vendor in Subway Town. Hey, that guy played nice. Stayed out of my way. So this is the entire area that we traversed. However, it's backward, and now it has authority sentries in it that we have to take out. Usually, I'm taking a lot of damage in that hallway. That was actually a really clean hallway. I have to wait for this door to blow open. And you actually have to wait a second after it does, because the hurt box on that door is still active, as you just saw. Okay, luckily, that guy stayed out of my way. Come on. Oh, boy. I'm getting ping-ponged around the walls here. I'm going to stop and grab that ammo. That ammo's important. It's not super important, but it's going to help save a little bit of time coming up in just a second. Because that ammo has pulse shots. Pulse shots are going to be very useful, and in fact, I'm going to switch them right now so that we don't have to switch to them later on. If I get lucky here, nice. I got this slight skip that saves a couple seconds as opposed to running around. Although I'm out of stamina and I'm bumping into invisible walls. All right, so pulse shots take those power cells down in one shot as opposed to pop rockets, which take 2. And that's kind of useful. It means we only have to waste the time it takes to do 1 shot instead of 2. One more power cell that we have to take down, and that is Dead City Central in Dead City 2. That was a gold split, by the way. There's a lot of room for optimization, certainly with my time. Our world record holder, Zen, was an old school Quake player, so his movement is much cleaner than mine. Okay, that was lucky. That grate can sometimes really troll you and just kind of like eat your pulse shot. Luckily, it played nice this time. Okay, this guy is going to try to snipe us at short range, which I think is hilarious because that's not really what a sniper rifle is designed for. We're going to try and get our bunny hop to stick, although this spot is kind of notorious for overbounce. And we are back at the beginning of Dead City.
Did you see that?
Lost my momentum right there at the end, but that's okay. And chat, I just want to let you know that was also a gold split. 2 gold splits in Dead City 2. Amazing. You literally witnessed my best Dead City yet. My best Dead City 2 yet, I should say. And my best Dead City 1, Dead City Streets. All right, we're going to talk to Marshall, run up here. That skips part of his dialogue, but it doesn't skip all of his dialogue. For some reason, he still has to cycle through the rest of this. So we're waiting for the word scrambler, and then we can run away to skip the rest of his dialogue after that.
About the stuff in your garage. It'll be waiting for you. But we need to leave soon ourselves. Price on your head
right here.
will only increase if you stay here. This place just isn't safe for you.
Run up. Sometimes he'll stay put, sometimes he'll turn around. If he stays put, you can start this that little interaction like 1 second sooner, but that's okay.
Let's go.
Now I'll make a bet with you all that this split is exactly 1 minute and 22.65 seconds. I'll make a bet with you about it. You know how I know? Because it's always 1 minute and 22.65 seconds. Every time. Every time. So if you got anything to read out, now's your chance.
Fighting the authority is all I know. I've been doing it ever since my arc emerged. I saw what they were doing. Nothing like this was supposed to happen after the asteroid hit. For once, our government had a good plan and good people in place to make it happen. But General Cross changed the timing of only a few arcs. Arcs filled with his people. And that changed the course of humankind.
And now that you've gotten the chance to listen to to Marshall here, who wants to take a guess at the voice actor's name? I'm looking at chat, so you can make your guesses. I'll tell you if you're right. And you can't look it up on IMDb. That's cheating.
Our base sits right below it.
The correct answer
Come this way.
is Steve Bloom.
Our base is just through that door.
Mr. Spike Spiegel himself is the voice of John Marshall. Now, you're supposed to be behind him. You're actually not supposed to be in front of him. But if we hunker down in this corner, I hold the forward and left keys. You're not supposed to be standing here. This doesn't save any time. It's just really funny because you're basically close enough to kiss him now. And then as soon as he moves, he pushes you back out again. Now, if we're lucky, we can get a piggyback ride from him. Give me a piggyback, Marshall!
Welcome to our little
Right.
home. It's a bit of a mess, but
We're going to skip that little bit of dialogue there.
All right, people.
Now, the Sard here on this side, if I proc his dialogue in this section, that is bad. That is really bad. Because an item is not going to spawn in later if I do. So I made a very conscious effort to stay away from him. I'm going to skip Saul's dialogue real quick. And this takes us to, whoops, Redstone. I'm going to run in, grab the bobblehead to sell. I'm going to run in. This is the shopkeeper. I'm going to make a safety save here just in case I screw this up because I can and I have. And this is Janny. Everybody in my chat really likes Janny. I'm not really sure why. I don't know. One of those mysteries, I guess.
I try to make a little money. Helps me keep my head above water. I got your basic and
Mouse,
enough
please.
supplies. You need it, I got it. And if I don't got it, you...
I'm going to sell the... Where is it? We're going to switch. We're going to buy the turret. Look at that. That was pretty much exactly how you want Janny's vending to go. That was just about optimal. Yeah, it's weird. I don't really know exactly why everybody seems to like Janny so much. If any of you have an idea, you can let me know why you think everybody likes Janny so much. No, it's one of those things, I guess. We'll never know. So I need to craft a little bit here. We're going to craft a few more RC cars. We're also going to craft some turrets. These are going to be really useful for a couple of arena fights that are going to show up later on. We're also going to finish off the rest of the pop rockets that we're going to need. We were not super low on pop rockets, but we were within margin of error. So we need to craft a few more in order to do these last few missions that we're going to be doing here in the other side of the capital wasteland. And again, there's no way to really skip the vendoring here, but luckily the timer pauses on live split for us when we do that. I talk to Redstone. He's going to give us the mission that we have to go talk to somebody else to give us the actual mission that we need, because that's how that works. Need a mission to do another mission. This guy's going to give us another clear him out mission. Not quite a fetch mission, but close enough. He's gonna he wants us to fetch some bounties, if that helps for you. And this split is called 6-second drive, because we're gonna drive right here and then immediately get out over the fence, please. It's actually very easy to die from fall damage here. Ooh, yeah, I popped the bandage there just to be safe, because sometimes you can die from fall damage here. And fall damage does not proc the defib. That's a death. So we'd be back at the car at the beginning of that split, which isn't a lot of time lost, but it's enough to be concerned. There we go. Switch the turrets. Now this is a gauntlet section, so we're going to drop these turrets. And by the way, those mutants don't actually exist. They're not actually, like, real mutants. They're just there for kind of show. If they were real, the turrets would be shooting at them, but the turrets don't. We need to kill, I believe it's 6 of these mutants that show up here. 5. All right, now we got a bunch of mutants showing up. We're going to go for this guy who's going to run right here first. Got him. We got one that's going to spawn right here. Nice. Got another one that's going to spawn in the same spots. Easy shot. We got one that's going to spawn right about here. Oh, right there. This guy runs straight at us. Gonna reload real quick. Optimal. And now we wait for this guy to open the gates. And then murder him. The turrets have luckily been doing most of the work for us. However, they don't get this guy or these guys very quickly, so we're going to do those. And once enough guys die, this door opens. I'm going to kill this guy because he can sometimes ruin the setup. And if you like Out of Bounds, guess what? We're going out of bounds. Okay. Okay. I'm going to save right here. This is exactly where we want to be, but I can sometimes slip off of this thing. Okay, that was actually really good. That part is very sticky, and it's very easy to miss that. Now, there's actually a few ways to do this skip. I'm going to do the Marathon safe method. Switch the difficulty. Quick save. And this is exactly what we did in Shrouded Bunker. I'm going to cook a grenade, switch to the highest difficulty, jump over the edge, and bypass the kill plane by dying from height by cooking a grenade instead. We're going to get right up here, switch the difficulty back, and we're going to switch it to easy mode. The other day I switched it to hard for some reason, and that caused some problems later on. And that brings us here. I'm going to walk over this edge, pop a bandage, and then drop down. And that skips a very long gauntlet with 2 of those mini-bosses that we fought earlier. We need to plant the dynamite there, which is kind of the whole point of the mission in the first place. I'm going to drop a turret, push this lever, drop another turret. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reload. And this guy, he moves, so I don't usually shoot until he's down there. And now I'm gonna get optimal. By the way, you can take friendly fire from your own turrets, so it's usually a good idea to stay out of their way. There he is. There's like one more guy. Oh no, they're not. The turrets actually did a lot more damage on those guys than I thought they did. Much more than they normally do. That was the blue line station. Not my fastest blue line station, but still pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. And now we fast travel back to Saul. We're gonna go turn in the mission that we just did to Foreman. And then we can head back to Redstone. By the way, if you are a fan of Skyrim, Redstone was voiced by a guy named, I want to say his name is Paul Elding or Idling. I cannot exactly remember his name. But he was also the voice of Ulfric Stormcloak's right-hand man. I don't remember his name either. You recognize that really raspy voice. And what's funny is this game came out the same year as Skyrim. I got a lot of work done in that year. All right, so now we go into the Gearhead Vault. A notoriously crappy section made much better recently by a new RC car skip. Avoid this bomb if I can. And by the way, all of these enemies speak in a really thick, heavy Russian accent. I need this guy dead. He's dead. Right, I'm gonna line up right about there. Drop 3 cars. Or it should do it. Perfect. We skipped, believe it or not. Oops, I did not mean to switch. Believe it or not, we actually skipped a pretty big trigger that we do not want to hit. I'm gonna drop 3 more, and we're gonna skip. Helps actually shoot the cars. And that skips another trigger. Flames would be coming out of there if we didn't skip that trigger. Now I'm going to save here. This is the most annoying part of Gearhead Vault. This is why. Sometimes this can take 10 tries or more. And it's just... sometimes there's just no way to know. There we go. We got through. It's very easy to overshoot that jump and miss it just kind of randomly. Oop. Come on, there we go. Now, this whole Gearhead Vault mission is all for this item. Another fetch mission. Who would have thunk it? Enrage. This gate's going to drop, but that's okay because they're going to give us another exit out of here. Okay, I am trapped. That's bad. We're going to take the long way around. Wall gets destroyed. This gives us our way out. I'm going to die. I'm going to pop another bandage just to be safe. Still have enough bandages for my favorite split coming up later on. So overall, not a bad Gearhead Vault at all. This was pretty good. Still not optimal, but pretty darn good. That 2 was a gold split. There's still a lot of gold splits left in my running of this game. Talked to Redstone a few times. He's going to give us our last mission that we're going to get from him.
I need you to. Now you do this for me. Good. We got it, D.
Exit to the wasteland. Now we are going to the power plant. Ignore the mission in the top right corner. That's a side mission. We're not doing that. We're going to the power plant. Now, the power plant actually has a very, very, very long cutscene in it that we are going to skip. It involves getting into an elevator, sitting through this long section where the big boss man of the big boss fights. Dude, is what I mean about cars sometimes front-ending you. Sometimes that happens. We actually skipped this, so when we meet the boss, it'll actually be our first time meeting him, even though he'll be talking to us like the second time we've met him. I'm gonna switch to the crossbow bolt here. Now, I've got some electro bolts in here, and those are going to disable these electric fields. Like so. Do not touch those electric fields. You will die instantly. They are an insta-gib. Don't touch them. Gonna navigate our way through here. I can stop getting overbounced. 1, 2, 3. Save. Just in case. Doing another RC car skip here. If we can actually get the jump. There we go. Gonna pop a bandage. Oh! I moved too far forward. I was supposed to stand on that pipe, and I moved just a little too far forward. Sometimes Nikki can be a little tricky to control. Okay. Oh, come on. There we go. Drop down here. Drop down here. That is actually pretty treacherous to do that, but that skips a very, very long cutscene that we don't want to watch. And we've got 2 turrets left, and I'm going to use both of them here. First, I'm going to kill these guys so that they don't destroy these turrets before I'm ready for them. I'm going to drop a turret here. Come through. There we go. Got that last turret. So this boss, we're supposed to meet him in that cutscene we skipped. But we skipped it, so we're not going to see him. So you're going to skip this guy, kill this guy a little, like kill him before this guy kills him. Speeds time up a little bit more. Now there used to be an out of bounds that we did here, but we found out it's actually faster to play this part inbound. So it involves jumping off of this and getting up here and jumping up there and doing a bunch of RC car stuff. We're not going to do that. We're actually going to play this part in bounds because this is faster. Because those turrets are going to do most of the heavy lifting for us. But that turret's not going to last forever, so I'm going to let it soften these guys up as much as it can. And then as soon as it dies, I'm going to take over. Hey, this is going pretty slowly, actually. Oh, never mind. Okay, so we somehow skipped the dialogue section. I'm not sure how that happened. It's never happened before. At least it's never happened to me. But there's supposed to be a dialogue section about halfway through, and apparently we skipped it. So it's like, this is taking a long time. Turns out it wasn't. It was going really fast. Oh, I am doing the wrong quest here. So that was Redstone's last mission. We walk up and talk to Saul, and then we're supposed to run back over here. And now we can go talk to Marshall again. Come on. Talk to Marshall. Run away and talk to Lassard. You can sometimes get the optimal dialogue skip here. Oh, this guy's voiced by Steve Wittenberg. You might know him as Kakashi from Naruto. Or Kakashi? Kakashi? Naruto fans know who I'm talking about. And now we go to Jackal Canyon. We don't like Jackal Canyon. Jackal Canyon is home to a 100% RNG skip that saves a minute. It is 100%, at least as far as we know, it's 100% RNG. And it saves a minute. I have gotten it once. And I've never been able to replicate it. And I actually didn't even get the skip. I died and lost a run to it. So if I get this skip here at WASD, I'm going to be mighty upset. The Jackal Canyon is only mostly formed. It's actually not a very well-programmed spot. You're supposed to go pull a lever to get over this gate, but if you jump at this rock a little bit fancy, you can jump right over it. You notice I just like poked my head through the ceiling. That's because, again, some of this section is not programmed super well. You're supposed to ride 2 zip lines down. However, I'm going to do a safety save here. Sometimes that happens. You can do a circle jump straight to that zip line. I'm not getting it right now. Usually I get this first try, but sometimes memes can happen. There we go. You ride that second zip line down. And you cannot extendo grab to it. I've tried. Now, getting that first try saves a little bit of time. Getting it second try saves no time. Getting a third try loses you time, but that's fine. Now, if I can get on top of the gate properly. Okay, I think I got it. Pushed a little too far forward. Okay, I'm choking a little bit here. Not a lot, but a little. Try this again. Maybe safety save before the gate, because jumping over the gate is actually kind of hard to do. But it is possible, as you've seen. All right, there's a safety save. That's the case. Come on. There we go. Get on top of the gate, and then as soon as this becomes available, you can go through it without having to wait for the gate to open, which saves a couple of seconds. Alright, I'm going to save here. This is where the RNG skip comes in. Now, by saving, I've probably actually borked it, but I'm going to save just in case. You can sometimes do a paperclip through that wall. Didn't get it. That's okay. Not a big deal. By the way, this is easy mode. And you see how much damage I'm taking from these grenade balloons. You do a ton of damage on easy mode. The idea here is you're supposed to actually jump into these little alcoves to hide away. Rare, but it happens. Now that paperclip that we would have gotten actually drops us here, but it drops us here without any enemies spawning in. Came here just to get that. And then we ride on out of here. And this is a little 30-second segment, so if there's anything to read, go right ahead. Alrighty, now I one time threw a run here by jumping out left instead of right. I make sure to go right from now on. I threw a PB pace run, jumping out the left side and falling out of bounds, which was very, very annoying, and I was not happy when that happened. We fast travel back to Subway Town, and there are 2 missions left. Just 2. Let's go turn in the 1 mission to Lessard. Come on. Start the dialogue with Lessard. We run back here. And then we skip all the dialogue to go to Portman. If we talked, or if we got within range of Lessard earlier, we would not have been able to pick up the item that I just picked up. And that's bad, because that thing is going to save us a lot of time in the final fight.
I'll give you the explosive charges.
Portman's giving us a fairly short mission. Even casually, it's a pretty short mission, but it's even shorter by the fact that we can skip the whole thing. We go back into the wasteland. We're supposed to go blow up a bridge. Or sorry, blow up the lasers that are keeping a bridge from being accessible to anybody that's not the authority, the bad guys. You're supposed to go down a ravine and do a whole bunch of stuff, but if you park your car right here, get out, get on the back of the car, do a safety save. I'm stuck. There we go. And we got through. Now, if you have the jump fix injector enabled, this is one of the best places to show off strafe hopping. But of course, overbounce being the issue that it is, all my jumps get eaten. As soon as this one blows up, we're good to fast travel back. And we are about to get the final mission of the whole run, the very last one. We just have to go turn in the mission to Portman, and he's going to give us a very, very nice weapon. This weapon's fun. Now, we can't skip his dialogue, but we can talk to Marshall and skip the first bit of his dialogue. Also, you can talk to Elizabeth, but there's no reason to. Just a thing.
I think you should take some extra firepower with you. Grab that authority pulse scanner.
By the way, Portman is voiced by Phil Lamar, who voiced 2 other characters in this game. All right. You know that, we're going to run away from Portman, run back and talk to Marshall. We're going to stand right outside this doorway to wait for the moment where he's able to skip his dialogue. And you're going to wait, you're going to watch him see it do a little weird thing with his shoulder.
Codes are ready.
Right here.
He'll be able to walk right in.
As soon as you see him do that, you're good to run forward and talk to him. He's going to give us the very last mission, Assault Capital Prime. In my splits, I call this Liberty Prime. If you know, you know. So that bridge that we just blew up, or the laser, the stuff that we blew up on the bridge, we're now crossing that bridge laser-free. That means we get access. Whoa! Okay, that guy usually isn't there, but sometimes he is. That gives us unfettered access to the internal machinations of the Authority headquarters. And from within, we are going to blow the whole thing sky high. Because that's what you do with tyrannical governments. According to lots of video games. I believe it or not, you can actually lose a good chunk of time here if you don't draw a really straight line between all these rocks. You can't draw an absolutely straight line, but if you line things up correctly, you can actually get a pretty good chunk of time saved here. If you don't line these up properly, you can lose a few seconds this way. Now, if only there was an easy entrance to get to. Oh, look at a side entrance right here. Amazing how they did that. Like the Death Star. All right. Oh, I am down quite a few pop rockets. Now, I'm at 93 pop rockets, which is plenty. I also have 10 RC cars still, so we're going to get to see what we call Vega Skip. Wait for this guy to get out of here and then do a flick jump. That gets you a little bit more optimal movement. These guys both got to die, because they're going to get in the way if I don't. Alright, we're going to see Vega Skip. Okay, I think I dropped, that was 3. Maybe save. Supposed to ride this lift up, but if you bork it like I just did. Come on. Oh, my lord. I don't usually whip this hard. Sure what's going on right now. Okay, this is usually not this hard. I'm going to try setting this up a little differently. There we go. You're supposed to ride that platform up here, but you do Vega skip. We call it Vega skip because in Doom 2016, there's a section where you ride up a lift in order to meet Vega, one of the characters in the game. And so when we came in here, I immediately called that Vega skip, and one of my Code 2016 runners saw that and he said, "Oh my God, it's Vega skip." So now we call it Vega skip because it's really funny. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now earlier, when we were in the Shrouded Bunker, I showed you the second coolest skip in the run. Now I'm going to show you the first coolest skip in the run. This is the coolest skip in the run. And it ate a 2-minute PB because I failed this skip 86 times before I got it successfully. Hopefully that doesn't happen here because I really want to show this off. Do we kill this guy? Yes, I counted. I'll line up. This will probably be easier actually with this crosshair. I'm gonna save. All goes well, and I set this up right. Beautiful. Look at that. First try. That is a pretty hefty time save. I wouldn't say a minute, but I'd say 45 seconds. I'm not going to worry about these guys behind me. I'm going to try and jump, get over this gate, so that we don't have to wait for it to lower. And that saves about 3 or 4 seconds. Maybe not quite that much. Maybe closer to like 2 or 3. We're going to navigate through these hallways. And that puts us on this lift. We're going to just play dodgeball with this guy a little bit. And I still have 73 pop rockets left over, which is funny because we're not going to use any more pop rockets. We're now going to craft the Authority Augmenter. This is the thing that we picked up from Portman earlier, and we have it on 4. With the Authority Cannon that he gave us and the Authority Augmenter, we are going to lay waste to this boss fight. You have a laugh track. This is where you play it. This is the final fight of the game. It is the final boss fight. We push those 3 buttons. We'll pop one of those augmenters, which is a quad damage. We now do 4 times damage for a minute. So these guys die very quickly. This is the whole fight, by the way. It's just these guys popping out of these little containers over and over. There's a fairly long first phase. I'm trying to listen for them to hear where they come out of. Audio scoping is not always totally accurate. I'm in a quick save here. This section can soft lock. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. I'm just coming up right at the end of this phase. As soon as I push that little button right there, that will be time. Where are you? There you are. He's back. Oh, he's stuck. Having a bad day. And time. And that is Rage 1 any %. This was, by the way, a world premiere. As far as I know, nobody has ever shown off Rage 1 at any marathon before. This was a world first. You all saw it here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's raise some money for Special Effect. That's a great organization, very near and dear to my heart. So please get your donations in, because I would really like to see that number creep up a little bit more throughout the weekend. I'm just going to say that. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I want to also, by the way, give a very special thank you to the organizers for this event. So I ran Rage 2 at the last WASD event, And then for this one, I had submitted Rage, and I also submitted Resident Evil Village. And they actually accepted Resident Evil Village initially. And then Capcom did a thing where they kind of screwed up everything with a bunch of the recent Resident Evil games. And they actually completely wiped out my profile. And I was supposed to run New Game Plus. And so I hit up the organizers like, this might be a problem. And they're like, oh, yeah, we'll switch to Rage. No big deal. So I got to give a big thank you to the organizers for being so flexible and generous for being willing to switch and get to show this off. And quite frankly, this is the better speedrun anyway. Shh, don't tell them I said that. I also got to give a shout out to Zen, Tachyon, Valake, Zio, all the people in the Rage community. We are small, but we are mighty. So if you want to join the Discord and learn this game, this is a really fun run. It's tough. There's a skill ceiling, but it's a lot of fun to learn. So we have a Discord. You can check out the speedrun.com page. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a great rest of your marathon. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming. We will be back in just about 5 to 10 minutes for the Toy Story run that was promised, but had a bit of technical difficulties. So stay tuned for that.